Up next on the Mark Rock Show, continuing the parade of cool Canadian bands we have on the show, we've got Patrick Grant, who essentially is the majority of the band and died in blue. They've got an album coming out soon. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk a little bit about, now you've got an upcoming album. The album is going to be called Moment of Leaving. Now it's not available yet, but tell folks a little bit about when you anticipate they might be able to actually pick up the album.
We're looking at late spring, early summer. So I guess we're looking at late sort of May, June kind of a release.
Okay, so cool. And a lot of those tunes are out on SoundCloud now. People want to check out a lot of the samples. They can hear a lot of those out there right now, can't they? Yep,
they're there. On SoundCloud, there's 3 versions that are full, and then there's some shortened versions. But as I approach the release, we're gonna post all the full versions. But you can sample pretty much the whole album via our website or SoundCloud. It's just that some of the songs they're running like 2 minutes, and then they cut off sort of thing, not the full versions. But I'm about to let it all fly very soon.
So, hey man, we've met, as I met a lot of bands via the internet. We've not met in person. I've not had the pleasure of seeing you live yet, but I want to talk about some of your tunes. So, the first one that you sent that I really enjoyed a whole lot is the song called Plaid Accident. And I want to ask you about the tune. Who is the he that you're talking to, or that the song is about?
I guess it's a little bit of autobiographical. It's kind of the song's supposed to be kind of funny. Like, it's supposed to have a tongue-in-cheek kind of feel to it. There's a reference to spilling drinks and stuff, and I've been known to be a little bit clumsy in my days. And that's supposed to be a pretty lighthearted song. And then in the lyrics I reference about, if you tell him the obvious, he's going to get mad. It's like, it's just like a kind of a guy who's sort of vexed with the world, and he's kind of like his own worst enemy. But it's supposed to be funny. It's not supposed to be too serious. It's just like kind of fighting yourself in life, right?
Now, to that end, it's got a very unique music video. So I'd love to hear the story of how that music video came to be made and who made it.
Right. Okay. So the video doesn't necessarily follow the lyric or the storyline of the song, but the boy in the video, he is my girlfriend's son. He's like my stepson, and he's a bit of a filmmaker. So we just got this idea between himself and I and my girlfriend, because he's a filmmaker. Let's put him in superhero costumes, and we'll clone him in editing. And he did all the editing, because that was done a couple years ago. He was only 11 at the time. He's much older now, or he's a bit older now, and he's still continuing on filmmaking, and he's very good at it. So we shot him as Spider-Man on drums, Batman on the bass, and Assassin's Creed on guitar, and then just himself as a lead singer. And he then took it into his Mac and cloned himself. And if you look at the video, you could see it's a little bit rough looking. Like, you could see the lines. You could sort of tell that's what he did. We call it an unofficial video, and it's just supposed to be fun. It's not necessarily derivative of the lyric, but it's just a kid having fun, a fan of the band having fun with the video, with the song himself. It's like we call it a fan-made video, because he's a fan of the band. And he had this idea to do this cloning, and we use superheroes because it appeals to kids, and we marketed it that way. At some point, I'd like to do another video with him involved that's a little more direct to the lyric, but that was a lot of fun.
Now, I listened to today, man. You did a cover tune from one of my very favorite bands, Firefall. I've always loved Firefall. We play a lot of heavy, we play a lot of metal stuff here, but I always sometimes go back and listen to the old Firefall. What drew you to doing the cover of Strange Way?
I've always wanted to cover that song since I was a kid, because, I remember the 70s. I'm old enough, and I just thought that song, I liked the original version, although if you listen to the original version, it's pretty long, and there's this flute solo, and they break
the flute solo,
this whole jazz thing, and I just thought it'd be a really good song to just do a straight ahead rock version, because it's such a strong chorus. it's such a strong song. And I reached out to the guys in that band, and the guy that wrote it, who's, if you ever look at the old video and stuff, Rick Roberts is his name, and he wrote the song, and he was the Firefall guy. He's got a huge back history. He played in the Flying Burrito Brothers and stuff. Back in LA and stuff. He lives in Colorado now. But he's got a lot of history. Anyway, I reached out to him and I told him, look, I did this. I hope you're okay with it. You know, I'm basically an unknown, but here's the video, here's the song. And he was like fine with it, and he thought it was okay. He liked it. And yeah, so I just had fun with making it sort of a guitars up, kind of full on, straight ahead rock version without flute solo. Nothing against the flute solo. I still love the original version.
Yeah, I actually like the shorter version minus the flute solo, to be perfectly honest with you. I've always loved that band. But hey, another tune I want to ask you about is Missing 66. It's an acoustic tune, and you use something called an EBO in that. Tell me what that is.
EBO is this, if you see there's a video for that, so you can see me playing the EBO on it. So instead of a pick in your hand, you have to use it on an electric guitar, and you hold it over the strings. It's got a battery in it, a 9-volt battery, and it's just this little device, and you hold it over one guitar string at a time. You can only hold it over one guitar string, and it electronically vibrates the string, and it makes the guitar sound kind of violin-like. It's like that's why they call it an E-bow, i.e. like a bow of a violin. It makes it sound like you're bowing a long note, like a violin sound. And U2 has used it. Unforgettable Fire, you'll hear it on that stuff. A couple other major artists have used them, and it just really worked well with the tune.
Now, is that music video, it kind of almost has sort of like home movies in your hometown. Is that from your hometown, or what's the video about?
Oh, you mean Missing 66?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend's from Illinois. I'm Canadian, but my girlfriend and her kids, they're all in central Illinois, about an hour and a half south of Chicago, and that's sort of where the old Route 66 highway begins. There's a lot of history there, and that runs through the states. It's the original highway that runs through the United States, and there's a lot of interest there. There's a lot of enthusiasts to that. In fact, when I put the video out, I promoted it that way, and I went to like Facebook pages where people are like Route 66 interest Facebook pages, and I posted it on there, and I got it's got more views than any of the other videos, twice as many, because there's a lot of enthusiasts. So there's footage there again I used Landon again, my stepson. He appeared in it riding the mini bike, and then I also used some footage that I just sort of borrowed and found of the old route, and just incorporated it all. And actually, another video of mine, By the Breeze, does have actual Super 8 footage of my childhood. That's another song, though. But yeah.
So yeah, man, it's a cool video. I enjoyed. As I was researching it, I had a good time watching that. Now, I read your bio today, and you spent a lot of your career on, like, it seems like, on the production side of music. It's as a producer, is it tough when you have like a killer song you produce to like let it go and let somebody else have it?
You mean, well, I haven't faced that. Like, as far as my own songs, I've never actually, given any away. I'd be fine to do it, but I've never actually, like, I've produced and recorded a lot of artists, but it was always their music. I've never actually given up any of my own material. Not that I was against the idea, it just hasn't happened. So all the songs on my album are mine, but I haven't actually faced that yet. But if anyone wanted one of my songs, if it was the right situation, I'd be fine with it.
Is it still like, do you get the same, I guess what I'm asking is, do you get the same reward like when you produce a band and you know a great song is out there? Do you get the same good feeling as when it's your song?
No, but I loved it. And I haven't been doing that for a while, but I was on staff at a big studio in Toronto and stuff, and working with people that are true to themselves and like helping them create their vision. It's very, very gratifying, but I have to admit, there's nothing more gratifying than when it's your own music that you finished. And this album I did pretty much all by myself. I played almost everything except for drums, and I had some help from some people in Toronto. I did the drum tracks up there. But no, yeah, the creation of your own material is the best. It's the best thing. But working with other people is great too.
So, like playing all the tracks on there. One of the guys I'm the biggest fans of ever in the world is a guy named Todd Rundgren, who I'm sure you've heard of. And Todd did that a lot. You know, he even went on tour by himself, playing all the instruments electronically. What are the benefits and what's the downside of you essentially are Dyed in Blue? What's the plus side and the downside of being kind of like the one man band?
Yeah, first of all, Todd Rundgren is a musical genius and a huge influence of mine. But okay, so the benefits, I don't know. I mean, I did all of that work by myself because it was the most economical way to go. I considered, like, as I say, I got a drummer. I play a little bit of drums, but I'm not good enough. I don't really like my drumming enough to have done that. Dave Grohl did the first Foo Fighters album like that, but he's a great drummer, and so that's another thing. So put it this way, the next album I make, I would rather just get a band, like have a band developed and just go through it that way. I didn't hate it, I loved it, and there's a lot of control that you get to have just by playing everything. But I didn't have really the budget like a lot of people, or the time to just find people and bring them in. Plus I was working out of my house, which is kind of a small environment, and it was just better off doing it that way. But that said, it took a long time just building all the tracks myself and then editing everything. It was 3 years in the making. Once I did the bed tracks of the drums in one day at a studio, brought that all home, and spent the next literally 2 years building 10 songs and mixing it.
Wow!
And then I got someone else to master it.
Well, it sounds like the release is not all that far off. So once it comes out, can we expect to see you doing some live shows? And are you going to be doing it down here in the U.S.?
Absolutely, I would love it. I'm working right now on building a band and moving in that direction. I would love nothing more than to play these songs out and live. That's my next thing, and then to write more music. But yeah, I don't have anything booked, but yes, please, I'm in. I'm working in that direction. I would love to play live because I've been, working out of the laboratory here for too many years, and I want to get out and play. That's any musician says the same thing. I play myself here and stuff, and I play solo, and I have a cover band. But to get this stuff out, to showcase this record with 4 guys, I have a 4-man band envisioned. It would be wonderful. I would like nothing more, and I would love to come to the U.S. And I do have many ties with the American Girlfriend.
Well, we are going to do everything we can to spread the word about you guys. I'm really glad we got to hook up on such short notice. Man, I just got your music the other day, but I liked it so much I want to get you on the show right away. So we've been talking with Patrick Grant of the band Dyed in Blue. They're out of, Niagara Falls, Canada, we would say, correct?
Yeah.
So, hey, man, thanks so much for being here. I'm going to share 3 tunes from you guys tonight with our audience, and definitely encourage folks, get out there and check out Dyed in Blue, man. Patrick, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for this. This is great. I'm so honored.